My assignment tonight is not it's not very difficult. I'm supposed to introduce Justin Trudeau. And I always like to, when I get that opportunity, I always like to share with you why I'm a big fan and I'm proud to run under his leadership within the Liberal Party. I've known Justin for many years, and for me, he stands out in many levels. So, first, he is one of the rare politicians who takes pride in being a politician. He takes pride in public service. Too often, we see politicians who believe that the best way to get supported if we slam the business of politics and if we put down other politicians. Unintended consequences is that it brings the calling of politics down because everybody thinks politicians are all for themselves and it's not about public service. But Justin is somebody who embraces the calling of public service and takes it to heart and reminds all of us of its nobility. Also, he is someone who believes that governance is about bringing people together instead of pitting one group against the other. And while some politicians may get some support by dividing Canadians, but as Justin always says, Stephen Harper is an example, he may be able to win votes, but it's very difficult for him to govern because he's polarized Canadians. And I'll give you an example. When in Quebec earlier this year, when the debate on that so-called Charter of Values, he was the first federal leader to speak up against it. But he did it in a way not to insult the people who felt perhaps this is a way to protect Quebec culture. He reached out to people who thought that might be a good idea and then explained to them why it is not a good idea in the long term. And he put his trust in the people of Quebec that they will reject this proposal. And he ended up being right. But instead of calling aggressive names of people who are supporting a bad idea, he reached out to them and appealed to their common goodwill. And he succeeded in doing that. The other reason is he's a believer in hard work. Let's be honest, no politician is not after votes. Every politician is reaching out to Canadians and is trying to persuade them to vote for them based on their ideas and their beliefs. But there aren't many politicians, in fact, any today, that are working as hard as Justin Trudeau, going coast to coast to coast, reaching out to many Canadians in different community groups, in different churches, in different mosques, in different temples, and talking to them, working with them, listening to their concerns. He understands that politics is not just about sloganeering, it is about hard work, and it's about reaching out to every Canadian and listening to them and to their concerns. And the last reason is that he knows that politics is not a destination. It's an instrument of change. It's a vehicle. Politics and politicians are not the end of what we all want to see. He always says, Canadians want perhaps a different government than Stephen Harper's, but they don't just want a different government, they want a better government. And he knows that politics is the vehicle for all Canadians to make that change. And that is why the Conservatives have been attacking him, not on his ideas or policies. They're scared when he goes out to mosques. You saw the attack just last week. They attacked him for visiting Canadians in their places of worship. Why is that? Not only are they afraid of his way of reaching out to Canadians, but they're really afraid of Canadians themselves being more engaged and being more involved in politics. And with that, I do want to thank you all for being here tonight because your presence here is showing that you care about your country, about the future of the country, and about the politics of our country. Later on tonight, Justin will be walking around every table, and he'll be hopefully getting a chance to speak to all of you. I look forward to that conversation. But for now, I'd like to please join me in welcoming Justin Trudeau, the leader of the Liberal Party.